So beautiful. Welcome, beautiful sister queen. Ah,
So grateful to be present. So grateful to be here with you. Thank you
yes.
for the invitation.
Oh, my pleasure, my pleasure. It is quite the honor to share this time and space with you, and I am so excited for our discussion today. This is a wonderful opportunity for us to explore the topic of music.
Yes.
Music as a sacred gift for the natural healing, nourishment, and soul awakening.
Yes.
Now, before we begin, I'd like to take a moment to welcome all of those who are joining in. We welcome you to our Sacred Feminine Leadership discussion. This time and space was created in the spirit of community for the mutual upliftment and nourishment of our soul. Look forward to engaging with you throughout our discussion today. Your participation is welcomed and appreciated. So, if you would take a moment to let us know where you are joining from and what music means to you.
Mm.
Okay, so we'll just see. All right. Okay. Well, my name is Lentice Sanders. I am a Sacred Feminine Leadership Coach and co founder of the Sacred Feminine Leadership Circle. We have with us here today a very special guest, Temakha Maakheru, as well as my soul sister.
Mhm.
Temakha is a creative entrepreneur and modern day medicine woman with soul nourishing remedies of award winning music, guided meditations, and visual art. She is also the founder of Abundiverse, which is a hub for her many soul inspired offerings. Temakha, you have such an amazing and inspirational story.
Mm.
Your journey has been one of empowerment, self awareness, leadership, and transformation. If you would just take a moment to share with us a little bit about your journey as a professional model and beauty ambassador to becoming the successful creative entrepreneur you are today.
Awesome. I would love to do that. I am very humbled and grateful um, in general. And I'm very humble and grateful for the opportunity to share what I consider to be my testimony. And there's no need for it to be the entire story. I actually speak more about in detail the journey from modeling to coming into this space of expanding what it is that I was offering as a creative entrepreneur. And I speak about this in my first publication, which is called Abundiverse the Remedy. So the deets that I leave out, those can be found here in the book. But to give the shorthand version, I was born to two very beautiful beings. One, my mother, Tanya Benton, and my father, Marcel Benton. And my mother has always been very creative, very innovative. My father is a singer, a soldier, and a very powerful man of love. And those two very awesome ingredients open up the way for me to be present here.
Mhm.
And I started my modeling career with their assistance and guidance at a very young age, 13 years old. It would have been impossible for me to do that on my own. So I cannot tell my story without giving love and honor and ashe to my
Mhm.
parents because I wasn't driving back and forth to go to these castings and things. So that journey began at 13. And the beautiful thing about that journey is it was a affirmation that I made when I was about 3 or 4 that I desired to be a walker. Told my mother, "Hey, I want to be a walker," and she's kind of looking at me like, "A street walker? Like, what's my baby talking about?" And my mother is a fashionista as well. She's a jewelry designer. She actually designed my jewelry that I'm wearing today. And back then, in the 90s, she would watch all the fashion shows that came on television. So one day when the fashion show was on, I was like, "Mommy, I want to do that." And she was like, "Okay, baby." So Fast forward to 13, I walked into an opportunity to do just that, to model, by just going to the mall with my mother. That journey, I would say, it was my first life. At that time, I went by my birth name, my first birth name, which is Tierra Benton.
Mm,
And that journey, I consider to be my first life. And that
mhm,
career opened up so many doors for me to explore, and to explore the art form of self expression in a
mm,
very vulnerable way. And that comes with its balance. It comes with its highs. It comes with its adventure. It comes with travel. It comes with playing dress up for a living and makeup and hair and ooh and yes. And it also comes with a lot of challenges to self identification and, in a way, learning how to be resilient and stay self aware in an environment and in an industry that's consistently giving you opportunities to be aware of other things, right?
mhm,
And maybe also pushing us to be very self insecure and not really firmly gripped in our roots. So I was blessed to have parents that were very involved in what it is that I was doing, very involved with the traveling and the engagements. But along that journey, I did collect some debris, which I talk
mhm,
about a lot in the book, as far as just energy
mhm,
blockages, things that people say. I've always been a very empathic being. Things that people say that don't really feel that good, that you kind of just keep replaying in your head, like maybe my
mhm,
butt is a little too big, or maybe I should do this, or maybe you're right, my hair is a little bit different, just little things that young women, 13, can hear and not be so easily able to discard. So I modeled for I'm still modeling. I'm always a model, right? Once a model, always a model. I modeled more professionally for about 16 years. And over that journey, I collected
mhm,
some things that didn't feel good. And I found myself in a space that did not feel good. And although I did not know exactly how to get out of that space, the light bulb to my spiritual awakening started to flicker so that I could
mhm,
investigate how to feel better. Um, Depression is a real experience for those of us who have experienced it and inexperienced it. And in
mhm,
my experience and experience of depression, I found that to be an opportunity for my soul to tell my personality that the part that I was playing was no longer enough for me. So all these
mm,
awards, all of these billboards, all of these movies, all of this stuff was great. And it was no longer enough for me. So it opened the door for me to dive
mhm,
into my inner abundiverse. And now I'm in this space of watching God, watching Most High use me as a vessel to shine my light and really be who I really am, and to every day find more about what that is. And also assist other people with doing the same through my ministry and through my labor of love, and really just assisting through being my own self and being authentic about what it is I like to do and what it is I like to engage myself in, other than modeling, in addition to modeling, and assisting other people with being you and being true. That's the mantra. So be you and be true. So that's the snippet, the shorthand version of my journey from going from being a model to becoming Temakha.
Wow. What an amazing journey. I celebrate, your courage and devotion, to your path. Along your journey, did you encounter any or use any spiritual tools or modalities that, helped you with your healing and transformation?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I will begin this discussion, or begin this part of the discussion, with the greatest lessons that I learned were from pain.
Mm,
And I feel we're often taught to avoid pain, or to suppress pain, or just take a little Advil, taking a leave and
mhm,
make it go away. Through my journey of very deep pain, I was able to understand that pain is an alert. Pain is a
mm,
package, that inside of that package, if you will unpack it, there's wisdom for you. there's a reason why you're experiencing this pain. So I can't go any further without discussing that although I embrace and exude beauty, there was some pain involved in me getting to be comfortable in the being that I am becoming. And
Mhm.
that pain was emotional. That pain also be manifest into a physical pain. So the modalities, as I was approaching the physical pain, it was a shoulder pain, which I
Mm.
dig deeper into what that spiritually means, because I feel and know and have come to be aware that all physical pain has spiritual roots. So you can
Yes.
take that and leave, you can go get that massage, but make sure you check the belief energy, you check the habits, you check the thoughts energy that are the roots for why your body is giving you this alert, right? So
Yes.
I was getting this alert, and aromatherapy became my best friend.
Mm.
Um, massage therapy became my best friend. Reflexology, I started having all of the acupuncture, getting pins everywhere to try to relieve this. And I went through almost 9 months of a physical burden that I was carrying that would not be remedied until I embraced a deeper relationship with the tool and the remedy of meditation. And meditation opened up the gateway for me to really simply, through the guidance that I found myself awakening into, ask my pain, what did it come to teach me? Like so many times we
Mm.
feel the pain and we're attempting to avoid it. So through my own journey, I was feeling this physical pain that I've been carrying for 9 months. And I just sat with it through meditation
Mhm.
and asked it simply, why are you here? Like, what do you have to bring me? What is this? And my message, what was necessary for me for the pain that I was experiencing in my shoulder, was forgiveness. And
Mm.
I felt that, oh, I don't have any issue with nobody. And the forgiveness was necessary for me. I needed to forgive myself for ways and offenses and neglect that I was giving to or casting towards myself. So that pain was like, come here, T. We need to have
Mhm.
a we need to have so modalities were abundant, but the most potent modality that I still stand by today is the ancient remedy of meditation.
Mhm.
Yes.
That's wow, that's powerful. That is, so powerfully, also said, that in your pain, you were able to also gain an understanding, from, the lessons that,
Hmm.
you were to, to learn from.
Oh
And
yes.
so, I know that you have mentioned before that one of the modalities that you gravitated toward was, the ancient energy, art of Kemetic Reiki.
Oh yes. That's another
Yes.
very cool piece. Yeah, the Kemetic Reiki helped to give me practical spiritual tools to deepen my meditation. So we could say meditation and everybody thinks, oh, that means
Mhm.
um and that's cute. However, in my journey, and again, my journey has been one of inner guidance. I'm consistently being pushed deeper into trusting whatever inner stirrings I'm getting. So it's a very synchronistic life that I'm living. It's a very serendipitous life that I'm living,
Mhm.
and I'm grateful for it. And it sounds almost like you're watching an anime when I unpack how it is I got to certain codes and activations. But not to get too long-winded on how I got
Mhm.
to what I've come to remember is that this is not something new for me.
Mhm.
Reiki is a ancient practice, lifestyle tool that I've been engaged in and mastering for lifetimes. It is in my DNA. It is in my
Mhm.
roots. Myself and that practice are one. And I came to remember this through engaging with it. And anyone who's watching, everything that I say, it's not like, hey, I have a trademark on truth. Follow what it is that I've done. No, follow what it is that sets you ablaze, like awakens you and says, whatever hits you with that, don't like forsake that. That's happening for a reason. And for me, finding
True.
myself in Brooklyn at a African festival, this woman with this Reiki tent had me like, she had all these beautiful goddesses on her wall, and she's wearing all
Mhm.
white with her turban, and she had this resonance. And I think you and myself, Lentice, we've spoken about this somatic experience that you have. You
Yeah.
can't express it, but there's something that you feel and sense in yourself when you are around something that
Yeah.
your soul, your inner blueprint knows you need to be around. And when I got around that woman in her tent, and this is a master teacher by the name of Mutshat, who's been a very helpful guide in my journey, I knew, oh yeah, I need to keep digging with this. And I had my first session with the man that I was seeing at the time. We did a couples session, and I got some information about my chakras that were very activating. And they let me know that there were two that weren't activating properly. One of them being my
Mhm.
solar plexus, it was completely blocked at the time, and my first eye, completely like I wasn't listening to those energy centers. So they said, okay, we just gonna go into no, we just doing nothing. And that's what happens when, and I don't feel that the energy centers open root, sacral, solar. That's not very alphabetical. It's more so energetic. For me in my journey, I wasn't necessarily shining my light and my unique offering to the world. So my solar
Mhm.
plexus was in a state of waiting for me to be ready to open up that energy and move that energy. And I
Mhm.
wasn't trusting the gut, your solar plexus, that gut knowing and that inner intuition, they work together. So the
They
fact that
do.
one of them was off, the other one was off too, right? So I was in a way blindly going through life if my eye wasn't on, you know?
Mhm.
So meditation really helps you to open up and to see beyond those things. But
Mhm.
Kemetic Reiki, the practice of Kemetic Reiki, I'm not going to say it like it's a magical pill. You do have to do the work,
Mhm.
but doing the work and embracing the techniques of how to meditate with the chakras, or how we would call them in Kemet, the Arit or the Aritu, working with those energy centers that form the inner anatomy for how you are experiencing your external reality,
Mhm.
helped me to turn being an empath from being a weakness and an inconvenience into my superpower. Period.
Wow.
Period. It was like, hold up, I can do something about this, you know? And I've always been an energy, I've always been a healer. I've been a healer for lifetimes. And not necessarily here to heal other people, but to consistently be in the state of healing and rejuvenating and rebirthing myself, which by nature assists other people. And
Yes.
sometimes I feel empaths take on this energy of feeling like we're here to save the world. And that
Mhm.
is a burden that's not necessary. If you would take control of what energy you will allow yourself to be responsible for and let that energy be yours. So Reiki really helped me to bring it in and really get in tune with what is going on with my inner G, my inner guidance, my inner connection to God, my inner connection to Goddess. What's going on with that? Because no matter how much makeup I put on and mascara and this cute little purple lip, y'all like this lip, no matter what I do with that, if the inner is not synced up and flowing how it's supposed to, it doesn't matter how many times I change the filter. It doesn't matter how many times I edit the video and edit. It doesn't matter because it's all inside out. Lauryn Hill said it best. How are you going to win if you ain't right within? And Reiki assisted me with getting right within. And
Amen.
that's again inner work. It's not something that I can tell you even in a video call, like, oh, this is exactly how it happens. It's one of those relationships. It's like a lotus flower. It just keeps blooming. And the first level of Reiki, you learn to master meditating with your own energy centers. I was blessed to go a step further and take level 2, where I began to work with other people's energy centers, you know. And again, I cannot overlook how important it is for that first step. That first step, I've taken a lot of flights, right? I started modeling at 13, traveled a lot. One thing I remember on every plane, that the flight attendants would say, hey, you know, on their little seatbelt get up that they do, their monologues, that if something goes down, if the oxygen mask comes down, put yours on first before assisting someone else's. And that sticks with me when I think about all these different spiritual practices. I meet so many people that are so ready to help people, I want to help people. Yes, you can and
Mhm.
you naturally will if you will go inside and turn your lights on. Don't be
Yes.
in such a hurry to go and get involved in somebody else's chakras when yours aren't where they need to be, you know? So that's what
Mhm.
Reiki assisted me with doing, bringing my empath energy in to really get centered on like, where is home? So that when I do go out, I'm in this level of peace and presence no matter where I am because I know where home is. And it's not a place and it's not a thing, it's a resonance. It's eternal.
It's
You know,
eternal.
it's a stillness that you can't touch. You
Mm-mm.
know, it's a river that when I drink from it, I don't ever get thirsty. And that is what I desire to uh, not necessarily lead people to, but reflect to people so that they may be encouraged to do and take that journey for themselves.
Yeah, it sounds like your journey really has been one of integrated and embodied wholeness. Um, and just through your example, that's bringing, healing, to the world. Just by you actually stepping into your power and living your truth. And so
Ashe.
I celebrate you and I commend you once again for your courage and your devotion, to your path. That's no small thing, to do. So many of us are just, on this journey of becoming, and are awakening to this, inner, um, I should say, just awakening and remembering, who we are at the core, of our being. I know that you mentioned having a somatic, experience when you were in Brooklyn and you seen the woman, who um, brought forth that, teaching of the ancient art, I should say, of Kemetic Reiki.
Yes.
You've seen it. You were open and curious, and that, allowed you to, explore um, this modality that was just already innate, within you. And that somatic experience is just really interesting because what it is really a soul recognition at a cellular level, you know?
Yeah.
And so our bodies, are responding, and it's so important for us to be in tuned and connected with our bodies and to really listen to our bodies, because our body is actually picking up on that resonance,
Yes.
and when you're in tune, with your body, it allows you to then at some point interpret, you know,
Yes.
yeah, interpret, what it is, that you're experiencing.
Yes.
And so, no, thank you so much for sharing your journey. Obviously, your journey is your ministry, and your ministry is your sacred gift for the healing that is so needed, in this world today. So, yeah, thank you so much for that.
Thank you so
And so,
much
I
for
know that
having
you
me.
talked about meditation. I know that
Oh,
you talked about meditation. Um, can you share with us when you discovered your passion for creating soul-inspired music and visual arts, and how you cultivated, and shared that over the years?
it's such a brilliant question. And I'm so grateful that you're asking it. I love opportunities to reflect and go in. And when you ask me that, I can't even tell you when. Again, it's something that's eternal. I remember being a little girl and loving to paint, loving to write poetry. My mother bought me a journal. One of the first most significant gifts that I received from my mother, other than life, carrying my body and birthing me, thank you, mom, was this journal that she got me. And I she may have picked up the fact, like, I am a very expressive, my throat chakra has always been on fleek. I think the young people on fleek. Very very expressive, never at a loss for words, never at a loss for conversation. I can have a conversation with anything, inanimate and animate, doesn't matter. And I think my mom picked up on that early and was like, this baby needs a journal. However, that gift assisted me with deeper understanding of the gift of sacred word. So before I can even get to meditation and music and art, I have to say that I fell in love with sacred word very early. The ability
Mm,
to express myself. My mother and father were very um, adamant and disciplined with installing with us the necessity to express yourself and be clear, and making sure that when they would discipline us, that it was clear in the communication why and what was going on. Very communicative family. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you understand? It was just like, yes, yes, no, okay, long speech, okay, yes, I get it. So sacred word is something that I fell in love with very early. And these are all things I feel, and again, this is for myself, and this is a medicine that I will give to all those who are viewing. Study your own life. I know there's a whole lot of self-help books and movies, and this is how you should do it, and this is how you should do it. But one thing that's really helped me open up is studying my own childhood before I got bombarded with advertisements and
mm,
magazines and movies telling me how to be. There was a setting I already had, and it was very whimsical and creative. Again, we spoke about this in the studio before going live, that nature being a space for our most brilliant medicine. And that has always been me. I've always been the little girl barefoot outside, singing and making up songs and making up plays and doing like mandalas with sticks on the ground. Like, I'm just that kid. Like, there she goes again, like playing with tree branches, calling them feathers and flying. Like, there she's doing the thing. So when you ask me when that started, I would say very young, very young. As I
mhm,
grew and went to school, I remember being very in love with art class, with chorus, and very in love with the parts of literary where I was able to freestyle and not be so constricted. I loved collages also in art class. But I will say, going back to my journey as a model, I began my career as a model very young, and that became a very uh,
mhm,
spearheaded focus. So my love for art and writing poetry and all of that good stuff kind of went on the back burner for quite some time. And
mhm,
it kind of didn't get as much attention. Now, I also, a part of my journey is singing in the church with my family. Me and my father, my brother, and my mother. She gave us a couple solos too, but mostly
mm,
myself and my father sang a great deal in church. So my connection with music, the deepest significance is always as a useful tool for praise, a useful tool to praise God. I have so many memories of watching my dad go into trance and into tears. And I know how he feels, and it's not about none of us in here. It's about him and God and what he's singing, how he's feeling, and gratitude towards God. So that's another aspect of my journey that was very significant growing up and having so many channels to express myself. I remember reading poetry at church and singing in the choir at school and all these different things. So I would say my childhood really gave me a great foundation for, like, hey kid, no matter what happens in the world, this is what you're into. So when I found myself in this depression, again, not saying it like it was mine, and depression is a state of being that's mine. Like, I don't own it. I just see it as a spot where my soul was like, hey, we need more. And in that time, I began naturally to start painting again and freestyling, and I found myself like self-medicating. Like, even my first single, Nori, it's a song to myself because I found myself in
mm,
this space. I was in a very toxic relationship with
yeah,
myself that
mhm,
manifested having a very toxic relationship with a man. And a lot of us throw that toxic word around,
Mhm.
almost like a dart to try to be rude about somebody else, like, "They are toxic, they are toxic," and it's like, "Hold up, I had to get real with myself, I had to get real with my womb, and
Mm.
realize that there's an energy signature that I was carrying that attracted this man into my life, that I felt necessary to do that thing with him, and through that thing with him that I'm so grateful for, I released that toxic way of relating to myself and I released him with love, but Nori was like the love child that I was able to carry and birth through our relationship, because our relationship helped me to see how much I needed to focus on nurturing myself. So often, I think a lot of our sisters, and I can only speak for women because I'm a woman this
Mhm.
lifetime, is like, sis, you so interested in cultivating a relationship with somebody else, but like, what about your relationship with yourself? You have a whole
Mhm.
world that you don't talk to unless it's that time of the month and you cussing her out because she's in pain, or it's an inconvenience. Like, you don't have a real, like, you're not really all together with yourself. And then you talk about these men ain't nothing and I don't need no man and this. And I'm like, nah, like, you're not really in harmony with your own masculine energy. So
Mm.
I had to take a moment to just be real and look in the mirror. Like, yeah, it's easy to be like, he did this and he did that. But I'm victorious. I'm no victim. I am a
Mm.
queen. And we love to take responsibility for when things are going right, right? Oh, I did
Mhm.
that and I did that. I did that. But when things don't go the way that we like, oh, that's them. I'm a victim. They did it to me. And now we don't want to be on camera. And it's like, boo, take responsibility for what you did and how you contributed to your own awakening to yourself. So through that relationship, I don't look at it like there was anything that it took from me, but what it did give me was an ability to realize how necessary it is for me to nurture myself. And that's what
Mhm.
energy is going into Nori. It's my first single and it's my first medicine song that came in this time in my life that I needed it. I needed to hear myself say to myself, it's time to nurture yourself, T. It's time to sit with yourself. You're running, come back home, sit down, breathe, you know? So when you ask me, how did this start and how did it cultivate? It started a long time ago. And when I needed to check back in with who I really am, that song, those paintings, the paintbrushes, the canvases, the notebooks, the journals, they were right there waiting for me when I was ready to get into alignment with my authentic self as opposed to the mask of the model that I was wearing.
Mm. Wow. That was, oh my goodness, so, so powerful. So many, pearls of wisdom that you just shared.
Thanks.
Your your first single, Nuri, I have to tell you, it is so, so beautiful. It was so very, activating, so very nurturing, so very empowering. I know that when I first listened to it, I had a somatic experience.
Mm,
And that's one of the early experiences that I had, um,
mm.
that let me know that you and I, have a soul connection, a connection. Um, And so I thank you. I thank you for sharing your medicine, your gift,
Thank
with all
you.
of us.
Thank you.
And
A lot
one
of times people, sorry, excuse me. I
no,
have
that's
to
okay.
share this one little nugget is a lot of times when my sisters and brothers come to me and they say, "Oh my gosh, I love your song, Nori. I love your song, Nori." I can't receive that. I'm like, eh. And I realize that Nori is our song, you
Mhm.
know, like it's our song. And I was just the doula or the channel that it comes through. It's so much bigger than me. It's a part of me. I had a duty in delivering it, but it's ours. It
Mhm.
belongs to us because the experience that you had and so many other people have, when they hear it, it
Mhm.
that's you. That's you contributing to Nori. That's you contributing to, and Nori means nourishment. It's a Creole word that means nourishment, So it's like a potluck. Whenever we listening to it, it's like we're
Mhm.
adding our own nourishment to that cloud. Like, yes, girl, I
Mhm.
feel you because XYZ in my journey. So it's like it's our song. It belongs to all of us. So I just have to share that about Nori. Nori's like, hold up, tell them. And I'm like,
Oh,
yes, it's
yes.
our song.
Yes, no, thank you so much for sharing that. It's our song. I love that. And the lyrics are just so beautiful and so relatable. Um,
Thank you.
I know that you mentioned, nurture yourself. It's time to reclaim your power palace,
Mm,
and that really resonated. That really
mm,
resonated deeply with me. Mhm.
mm.
And
Wait,
so
so say that one more time, sis?
Uh, nurture yourself. It's time to reclaim your palace.
Ooh. Okay, so the cool thing about songwriting and lyric writing is I feel that I say, honor your breath, center yourself, and reclaim your balance. But the beauty is you heard reclaim your
Oh,
palate.
okay.
And I'm like, yeah, reclaim your palace. So I was like,
Palace.
hold up, sis, wait. Reclaim your palace. I love that. See what I mean by it's our
Oh
song?
my
Like,
goodness. So it says balance.
reclaim
It's
your
so
balance.
true.
Yeah. But that's the thing about
Your balance.
songwriting.
Okay. And I
We hear what we need to hear. And you heard palace, and I needed to hear that too. Cause yes, ma'am. Yes, reclaim your palace. Yes. Mhm.
yeah, no, thank you so much for for sharing that because I've listened to it many times and every single time it sounds like palace to me. But it also makes sense that what you are in essence doing when you're nourishing yourself, you are reclaiming your balance.
Yes. And your balance is your palace. Come on, sis.
Yes,
Wow.
right? That's yes, because your palace is your square, right? And so the goal is for you to be well centered and rooted
Mm,
on your square. And then I
mm,
also think when I think of palace too, I also think of, and when I think of the square, I think of the throne. The
mm,
throne sits in our belly, in the solar plexus center. So to be rooted and centered is to be well seated, on our throne.
Ashe, sis. Mm. Look, I'm just talking. You see
Yes.
me? I'm just soaking up all the medicine. Like, yes, yes, yes.
Yes, yes, so much inspiration and wisdom. Thank you so much for sharing all that you have, and your, uh, like just pursuing your passion and your power and your purpose, and
Mm,
just standing, in your truth and not being afraid to be your authentic self, and to express it and to share it with the world is certainly, certainly a gift.
Ashe.
And so let's take a moment and check in and see. Oh, let's see. So we have Melissa. Melissa, thank you so much for being here, sister. She is joining us all the way from Vermont. She says music to her is life.
Yes.
Yes, love that. That's powerful. Oh, she
Mm,
loved what you said about just being real with my womb.
mm.
Yeah, let's see. So we also have Karen Ellis who's joined, as well as Nico. Thank you so much for being here today and for participating. We appreciate you.
Yes.
And so, sis, let's dive into music. So,
Yes.
what does music mean to you?
Music is it's it's everything. It's all music. I see, feel, sense music and everything. And music to me is like the heartbeat of the Almighty.
Mm,
The ebb and flow of the ocean is music to me. The breeze dancing through the trees is music to me. The silence and the
mm,
stillness is music to me. Everything, like music's everything. It's vibration.
it
And
is.
in the abundiverses that we are, there are infinite vibrations. And I've chosen through my relationship with music and my upbringing with music being a tool for praising God to deliberately choose the vibrations that I emit and record and share. I feel that music is a sacred art and it's not to be taken
Mhm.
lightly. I'm a sacred woman, so I do sacred things. I approach things with sacredness and reverence and sacred meaning and honor and a reverence to the divine. Not saying that I am perfect, but I am made by a perfect creator that I am consistently giving ashe to and appreciation to and attention to. Like, all right, I didn't make the sun come up today. I'm bad, but I didn't make the
Mhm.
moon come up last night. And I can relax and give thanks for the intelligence of God and the intelligence of the Almighty that is. And when I think about music, it's all of that. It's the dance of the sun and the moon and the ocean and the bumblebees and the dragonflies. Like it's all of it. And I could sound like a hippie or an artist right now, but I'm seeing and feeling and sensing music all the time. Like I'll be at the light with my blinker on and I'm making a song to the blinker. Blink, ding, ding. Like
I love it.
it's everything to me. Music is the movement. Music is the mantra. Music is the muse. And I could do this
Yes,
for eternity about just what music is, but to me, music is a sacred art. It's a sacred path. And when you embrace it that way, you get to reap the sacred blessings that it has and the gifts that it has for you.
beautiful. That's so beautiful. I know that you had mentioned that music is magic.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, music is magic. And so share with us what makes music magic.
Well, let me break down magic for a moment because magic has all
Yeah.
this vibe around it. In
Mhm.
my perspective in the Abundiverse, magic is simply science and law that goes unrecognized.
Mhm.
So it's a mechanics, it's a calculus, it's a advanced mathematics that's taking place, and because you don't recognize that mathematics, you say, "Oh, that's magic. It just happened out of nowhere," right? It's a, and that, to the alchemist, it is. You think
Mhm.
about putting a seed, like you got a watermelon seed, right? This little black, little tiny little thing. You put that in the ground and you water it and you allow it to get sun, and then before you know it, you get something growing out of the ground. Like that's magic. But at the
Mhm.
same time, it's also a scientific law at place. I can't plant that in a cube of ice and expect it to do the same thing. There are laws that go with it. So music is magic. Magic being there's a science to the vibrations that I emit. If I say that's a frequency that's universal, that's gonna get us on a universal station of
Right.
station, right? And when I say music is magic, it music induces trance. We've all gone to see a musician and been in the trance of wonder, like, wow, how did he do that? How did she do that? Right? It's a trance, it's
Yes.
a setting that we can be induced into. So when I say music is trance inducing. It can put you in a state where you start to do some advanced mathematics that you might not know. You might not be able to show your work on paper, but you'll be able
Mhm.
to see the evidence of it. be able to see the evidence. You ever felt a certain kind of way about somebody, and then you played like Nuck If You Buck, you know, to like get that energy off of you and feel like, you know, you didn't actually physically beat anybody up, but you felt like you did, you know, like come in the club, shaking my dreads, like, okay, sis, word. I haven't actually physically assaulted anyone, but I got to
Mhm.
get that energy up off me, right? And it's just it's trance inducing. And
Mhm.
that's where we have to be very careful, because in the abundiverse that we are, be mindful of what vibrations you keep inducing, what trances you keep inducing. And I would encourage you to induce the trance of being authentic and always being in tune with your divine nature and your divine blueprint,
Yes.
you know, as opposed to just being very connected to your circumstances or the earth or the dark parts of the day and what didn't go right. Like that's a frequency, you know, just like poverty is a frequency, and lack,
Yes.
that's a frequency, and you can tune into that station if you desire to. But my encouragement with knowing that music is magic
Mhm.
would be to tap into what feels good to my divine nature, not just to my little inner gremlin, you know,
Yes.
that just wants to eat gummy worms and like ice cream every day. Like that's a vibe. Really good for me, you know? So I would say music is magic.
Mhm.
Be mindful of the vibrations that you allowing. Like these things right here, these ears. The fact that we have two of them and one of these is special. But the fact is, it's an any.
Yes.
So things are constantly going in. It's up to me as a nurturer of
Mhm.
my vessel and as the protector of my vibration and energy to be
Mhm.
mindful of what's coming in. Maybe I shouldn't listen to Nuck If You Buck every day if I'm not personally preparing for war. Maybe, you know, maybe I should put some Sade in there. Or if I want a little fire, maybe some Shaka Khan, you know, or old school, you know, something that chills the vibration out. There's a time for Nuck
Mhm.
If You Buck, and then there's also a time for love. Your love is king, you know. So just
Yes.
really be careful with that magic, because although you may not
Mhm.
know the science and the mathematics behind it, you still are subject to the effects, you know, and the
Yes.
frequencies and what they are going to call forth in you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's so true, so true. And it's also our environment, is also so very important as well, since everything is energy, vibration, frequency,
Mhm.
everything is this, so our environment plays a huge role, in what we're consuming as well, what we
Yes,
are um, exposed to, energetically.
absolutely.
Um, mhm.
It
And
also has
so,
something to do with the tastes that you develop. So I came here not necessarily having an actual memory of what gummy worms taste like, but have let my mom and dad have only fed me gummy worms, I would have developed a tolerance for it and an appetite for it, even
mhm,
though it's not good for me. You show me an apple, I'd be like, ugh, gummy worms. I'm like, yeah, right. So it's like, just like how you said, environment has a lot to do with what we're opening up to. It also has a
mhm.
lot to do with what you have a taste for. You've been watching TV, and then you watch it and you watch it, and before you know it, you want some wings from some place you've never eaten before, and you already know they're gonna be good. Hold up, that was a commercial. That was a little meditation that was trying to get you to go into this trance. So
Yes.
just being mindful, not looking at things as, oh, that's terrible, that's bad, and oh, this is good, but being more in a level of authenticity with like what
Mhm,
it is you need and what it is
mhm,
in your inner environment that you should be summoning and producing and shining, outwardly. I feel like we're all like the sun. We are always projecting energy. So whatever vibration I'm on, I can't really hide that from my environment, and my
mhm,
environment is going to respond. So if I'm in a space that don't necessarily feel good, that's part of it, but
mhm,
being mindful about what I project. I listen to music. I love music. I'm a student of music. And some of the music that I hear,
mhm.
especially projected on the mass scale, some of it,
Yeah,
not all of it, but some of it
mhm,
is very, you might have should have kept that to yourself. Not
mhm,
saying like your expression isn't worthy of being expressed, but that temporary emotion, that temporary depression wasn't necessary for you to amplify and keep projecting and keep feeding. Like it was just supposed to wake you up to get to
Mhm.
this level, and to the next level. So another thing is with music being magic, I'm in a very beautiful, powerful, loving relationship with a man now. And I know what it feels like to be in relationships that don't feel the way that I feel now. I ain't going
Mhm.
back, but I know what it feels like. And a lot of the love songs that we'll hear sometimes are repelling love. They're not
Yeah.
inducing love. They're not cultivating love. It's like, oh, you
Mhm.
hurt me and I'm a savage. And it's like, how you gonna get
Right.
in a loving relationship now? And that
Mhm.
is, of course, if that's what you want. So again, authenticity, be you, be true, be real about what you want out of your life. Because regardless, you're going to be advertised to and be subject to the waves that are going on. But if you don't
Mhm.
have an inner connection to like what you want, you can fall into the magic of music and get caught up in a wave that
So
you may be
true.
able to relate to, but might not actually get you to what you want. If I want a loving relationship, I might shouldn't listen to heartbreaking Mary J. Blige songs like every day. Maybe like
Mhm.
every now and then to relate and remember, but maybe I should infuse some songs that actually produce the projection that I am in a loving relationship and I am capable of sustaining that reality, you know, giving
Mhm.
more attention to the heart wholeness than we do to the heartbreak,
Yes.
so because it's magic. And
It's yeah, it's magic, and words are powerful. And, what
yes.
I'm hearing is that while it's important, while self-expression, authentic expression is important, there's a certain level of responsibility and care that comes with our words, and with
Oh,
the music we make and how we express ourselves, right?
oh,
And so that's where, I think that that's, a good yeah, topic, or that, well, I should say that's something that you were just, expressing, is this level of responsibility that comes, with, the words that we use and how we express ourselves and what we entertain,
oh,
and how important it is for us to be, consciously aware, of what it is we're consuming, as well as being responsible for managing our own energy,
mhm.
and how we're projecting the energy, as well as, once again, what we're consuming. So very
Absolutely.
powerful.
Thank you, sis. Thank you.
Yeah.
Mm.
And so the other thing that, you were talking about is how activating music is in awakening the soul and connecting, with the soul.
Yes.
And so can you share a little more on that topic?
Yeah. So I think we said music is magic, and the other one is music is meditation. So when you say activating the
Mhm.
soul, I feel like that would be great to go under the tagline of music is meditation. And I will say this little bit about meditation so it doesn't get caught just only being the own thing. We're
Mhm.
always meditating. We're always meditating, like, scratch everything you heard, everything you saw. We're always meditating. So when it comes
Mhm.
to, like, what I'm gonna cook for dinner, I sit there and I think, "Wait, do I have an onion? Do I have some lentils? I hope I got some bomb quinoa." That's meditation because I'm in a state of reaching and visualizing things to put something together for a vibe, right? A vibe of some dope and some delicious lentil soup. Or, when you're thinking about what you wanna wear to this fly party you're going to, and you meditate on it. You think like, am I
Mhm.
wearing yellow? Wait, I got that other dress that matched them shoes with the bag. So it's like taking meditation out of this state of feeling like it's only exclusive for those who wear turbans and who eat vegetables and love gemstones, and like bringing it into this reality, like we're always meditating.
Mhm.
Always. And meditation is simply just focusing your mental frequency on something. And we're always doing that. And when you're not consciously doing that for yourself, you're simply just running on autopilot of what you've already focused on in your past, which comes into why you might keep running into the same situations and relationships, or the same situations with your money, or the same situations with your work occupations, because you are tuned into a certain meditation. And that meditation can result in blockages in your chakras, right? So if I've been meditating on like, I never have enough money, I never have enough money, I never have enough money, that's an affirmation that turns into a meditation and a frequency that will give me that reality, because that's what I'm saying that I want. And I
Mhm.
feel
That
that
is
the wombiverse or the universe only says yes. So if I say I don't want that, or the last thing that I want is, I'm still giving that energy to come to me. So instead,
mhm.
be a master of your reality, be authentic about what you truly desire. You know, I desire to feel good. I desire to feel at home in myself. Then you put your GPS to a station where you'll attract all these songs and these videos and these people that will shade that, you know. And then you may get contrast. You may get things that aren't that. Don't give it so much energy. You had a
Mhm.
great day and you focus on that one person that cut you off in traffic. Like, chill. You had a great day. Like, focus on that, you know, give that the bulk of your attention. So music being meditation and awakening for me also takes me back to a historic perspective on music. And when you think about meditation, you think about chanting, you think about people saying
Mhm.
oh and ankh, and my genetic memory of what the pyramids were used for in Kemet
Mhm.
were activation portals. So you would go in, and because of the way that it's built and the sacred
Mhm.
geometry and mathematics and magic, the mathematics that I might not be aware of, right? You set a certain tone in that space and it will
Mhm.
reverberate. And ooh, like if you've ever had a sound bath, right? Or we
Mhm.
started this conversation today, this divine dialogue today with a singing bowl, right? That emits a certain tone. These tones aren't just coming into they're coming into all your energy centers. And
Yeah.
that's the part of music that makes it so awakening. It can also be sleep inducing too, for your energy, for your actual sleep, like rest, and also sleep like you not woke in your energy and your ability, because the music that you're listening to is dulling your senses, right? So you can tap into the awakening medicine of music through being selective on what kind of tones and frequencies and vibrations and meditations, and
Mhm.
specifically with very simple words, what it is you desire. Do you desire to feel good? Okay, make up your mind that that's what you desire, and then you will attract and be in frequency and in harmony with things that feel good. You'll hear a song today like, oh, that felt good. And I just will to say, on that space of music being awakening, I feel that
Mhm.
it's necessary for us all to awaken to a deeper state of enjoyment. Yes,
Yes.
life has its challenges. Yes, something bad happened on the news today. It's been that way. I've been here 31 years. It's been that way for the 31 years I've been here. The news always has something to tell me that bad happened today. Okay. That's the meditation of the news in certain places. What's going on? And sometimes those frequencies are not so good. Cool. I have the jurisdiction to be able to turn that off and turn on something else, and to awaken to a deeper experience and a higher appetite for enjoyment. Not saying that I ignore the challenges of the world, but I place a higher importance on awakening to feeling inner joy. When this
Yes.
thing over, you know, and I turn back in my rental, you know, I go back into the star cosmos or whatever, like I would have hoped that
Mm.
I enjoyed every breath, every day, every opportunity that I was given in this gift that is life. Like, it is a gift to
It
be
is.
here and to be present and to breathe. So many people had to come and live and build and transition for me to even be here, you know, like, and their
Yes.
blood is in here. Like that's on the physical side. And then on the cosmic side, so many synchronicities had to happen perfectly,
Yes.
and the sperm had to meet the egg, and the womb had to be at a certain temperature for me to even be like in this
Yes.
thing. Like, enjoy every day of it, no matter what's going on. Like, activate and awaken to enjoyment. And I say that with such fire and fervence because I was in a state of not enjoying myself, thinking that enjoyment
Mhm.
was something that I had to work for. I had a
Mhm.
very imbalanced relationship with pleasure, where pleasure was like after all my work is done. And then if I am enjoying myself, I'm like, I really should be doing work right now. And it's like,
Mhm.
yo, make your work pleasurable. Develop
Yes.
a healthy relationship with pleasure so you don't suppress it Monday through Friday. And then on Friday, you butt naked on the top of your house, like, whoa, like reel it in and give
Mhm.
yourself a healthy dose of it.
Mhm.
Enjoy it. So
Yes.
being a tool of awakening, but I would say even deeper, awakening us to the experience of joy.
Yes, that's so beautiful, so beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing your soul wisdom with us today. It's just, really inspiring and uplifting and nourishing, to the soul. Music to me is nature. It's um, it's the sound, of nature, the sound of creation. It's the sound of the sacredness, of our heart, being expressed, in physical form.
Mhm.
And as you've indicated before, it is magic. It is medicine. It is meditation and all of those things. So, how
Yes.
would you say we how can we incorporate music or sound, within our meditative healing practices that provide us with a deeply immersive, um, and full body experience? You mentioned sound bath as,
Yes.
as yeah, as a tool, but for
Yes.
some, maybe joining, what is that?
So a sound bath is, let's take a couple steps back. Everything
Mhm,
is intention. So the moment that I say it's a sound bath, I've already set the intention that it's a sound bath, right? So for
mhm,
example, this is a jar, a glass jar with the Sankofa symbol on it. And
okay.
there's popcorn inside. Hold up, where is it at? There you go, popcorn.
There
So people might look at this and be like, "Oh, you storing popcorn?" I'm like, "Yeah, but actually, it's a sound bath machine." And everybody has access to a Dollar Tree or a Family Dollar, a Dollar General. They're not paying me to say
Mhm.
this, by the way, although they can cut the check. You go get some, some popcorn in a glass jar, and it's intention. And now, anytime that I would do a Reiki session or a Raseki session with
Mhm,
someone, it's very important that we activate the use of music and sounds because vibration stirs up the energy. So,
mhm,
stagnant energy is what it sounds like. It's stuck, it's stagnant. This sound stirs that energy up. So the stagnant energy in that chakra will be like, oh, I gotta go. Okay, let me start moving. Let me get grooving, Or it's the same vibration when you think about cleaning your house on Saturday, and it's hard to do it when you ain't got no music playing. As soon as you get the music
yeah.
playing, it's like you done cleaning in like an hour, whatever. So
So true.
so it's so effective, but it's an intention. If I intend to feel good because I've set my
Mhm,
GPS on feeling good instead of just getting caught on my 9 to 5 and then get home and then in traffic
mhm,
and back. Whoa, hold up, let me set my GPS. And when I haven't done that and I find myself kind of stuck in the rat race, not shaming myself but just taking a step back to say, hold up, let me get back into feeling good. You can simply invest in the spirit of play. Like, this was a gift that I got at a baby shower. I don't even know. They didn't say what it was for, but when I saw it, I'm like, oh yeah, this is a sound bath machine. So sound baths are simply the use of sound to cleanse your energy. Sound bowls are
mhm,
also very affordable and very
mhm,
powerful tools. They all have different tones based off of the size that they are. And this
mhm.
baby, she's been with me for some time. She's the first sound bowl that I bought for myself. And I open myself to receive sound bowls as gifts for anyone who might be listening because I love sound bowls. yeah, they emit a certain frequency,
Mhm.
which can also assist with cleansing a certain thought program. Now, I don't play this and think about, you know, things that aren't high vibrational. When I play this, I'm putting myself in a trance, right? In a
Mhm.
train of thought, in a meditation that is harmonizing me to, I think this one is attuned to the sacral chakra. So that chakra, that energy center that has to do with feeling good and feeling in the
Mhm.
flow. It's ruled by water, it's ruled by our hips and moving and dancing. So when
Mhm.
I'm tuning into this, I'm tapping into my divine feminine energy, my womb, but I'm not just playing this haphazardly. There's an intention. You know, a lot of times when I'll do
Mhm.
meditation, I begin with this sound and then end with this sound. So then any other time, I've had this for years, that I play that sound, not only am I activating the prayer that I just did, but I'm activating all the
Mhm.
prayers that I've done because they're all tuned into this sound now. You know, you think
Mhm.
about the dinner bell, right? If I ring a dinner bell 3 times and you're like, oh, it's time for dinner. What if you have the abundiverse bell that you ring and it's like, hey, I'm an abundant being, you know? So that's what these types of things are. They're only as powerful as your frequency allows them to be. When I do Reiki sessions with
Mhm.
music and shakers and drums, I got toys everywhere, y'all, but I got hand drums.
Love it. I love it.
When we use these things, it's not the stuff that's healing you. It's not the healer
Mhm.
that's healing you. It's your intention that's healing you because you've decided
Mhm.
that you want to feel better. So that's why myself and the beautiful people that I've learned to work with and work alongside when it comes to using Reiki and sound bath medicine, sound bath
Mhm.
technology is consistently reminding those who are coming to be conscious of like, what do you want? Oh, your foot's been hurting. Okay. Do you want that to feel
Mhm.
better? Okay. Then lo and behold, they get off the table an hour later, like, wow, my foot feels better. And it's like, I didn't do that. You did. And that's just how powerful we are. And if we'll let ourselves be, if you follow what I'm putting down, if
See.
you'll let yourself decide what it is
Mhm.
you desire, you might actually work up the momentum to enjoy and experience it, as opposed to saying that you desire something and then letting yourself be stagnant about it. You know, shake up the energy and allow it to carry forth. You know, so that is part of the tools that we can use to allow music to be activating and to be a tool for us awakening ourselves. Another aspect of it is I love binaural beats. They're
Yes.
free in the abundance on YouTube. I love binaural
Mhm.
beats. Anytime that I'm having like some personal time after my bath and I just want to just be, I love I remember as a young child, I used to love listening to instrumentals when I would be studying and things for school. And the binaurals kind of carries that thing forward where it's like when I'm just studying my inner frequency, like how do I really feel? And giving yourself just that one power hour out of the 24 hours that you're given every day, just to check in with yourself about how you
Mhm.
feel. Because how you feel is its own stereo and it's creating its own emissions, you know? So just being real about how you feel. And if it don't feel good, choosing, if that's what you desire, to do things that make and assist you with feeling better. You know, and I have a meditation album that's available that is you can download it anywhere where music is being played, Apple Music, Amazon, anywhere you like music. There's abundant options. And these are the chakra meditations. And I created this project out of a need to hear my voice coach me through my energy centers. And at first, it started as like a personal project. And then I realized when I listened to it that, again, this is our project. It doesn't belong to me. So, of course,
Mhm.
in the photo, it's me reflecting with myself. And what I'm doing my
Mhm.
best to do is to give that energy to all those who are attracted to the frequency that I'm on to reflect with yourself. And this project is almost like the training wheels. You know, we say meditation, oh, if you're having money issues, you might need to get into your root chakra. You know, if you're having confidence issues, you need to get into your solar plexus. But
Mhm.
this project actually helps you to focus and to, with the power of music, tune into what that means for you and to help clear those blocks, those beliefs, and
Yes.
that energy that you're holding on to that's got you not getting what you really want,
Mhm.
you know? So those are a few things, meditations, instrumentations that can be used to allow music to be a tool for us awakening, a tool for us to level up and enjoyment, you know?
Well, I must say, I love your chakra meditation. It certainly is a powerful tool. Your voice is powerful. The music is so very calming and soothing. And so I know that I have benefited greatly, from you sharing your gift, our gift, as you describe it. So for anyone that is interested, I personally have benefited from it, so I certainly recommend it.
Yes.
Yes.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that too.
Yes, yes, you're welcome. So the one thing I wanted to share a little bit before we go into your guided meditation is light language. More and more people around the world are activating
Mhm.
their light language, their soul star language. And so I just
Mhm.
wanted to talk a little bit about that. I don't sing and I don't play any instruments, although I do also use the sound bowl and crystal sound bowl and love it. Um,
Mhm.
I um, I express light language, and so I just wanted to take a moment to share with everyone what that is.
Mhm.
So, the language of light, in essence, is our soul's language. And as we know, our soul is connected to source. It is an expression, of our soul's language in physical form. It carries with it the codes of creation. It's the sound of nature. It has many different forms of expression. It can be expressed verbally, as well as in writing. I express it verbally. It can also be expressed in with body movement, with dance, um, in art, in music. In fact, anytime we express from the sacredness and the purity of our heart, we are expressing our soul's language of light.
Ashe.
And so the other thing that I found really interesting when I was exploring light language is that being that it carries the code of creation, it is sacred geometry in vibration form. And so I
Yes.
know that earlier you were talking about energy, vibration, frequency. Well,
Yes.
as we know, sacred geometry is the foundation for creation. It's the
Yes.
foundation. We can see sacred geometry, in art, in architecture, in um, science, in our cells, everywhere.
Yes.
It's everywhere.
It's all over the place.
Over. Yes. So anytime, once again, we are creating from the heart space, we are expressing, our language of light. And
Mhm.
so when light language is expressed, it's not to be interpreted by the rational mind. It's to be felt and experienced from the heart space. It's analogous to being on a nature walk. And, when you are out in nature and you are open, um, and just, experiencing the sounds of nature, you're not focusing on interpreting what is being said. You are just open and allowing yourself to feel and experience um, nature's medicine, if you will, right?
Yes.
And so when light language is expressed,
Yes.
it's not to be interpreted, it's to be felt, from the
Yes.
heart space and experienced from the heart space. It has many benefits as we d it shares the same benefits because it's sound, it shares the same benefits as we, mentioned earlier with regards to music, um,
Yes.
such as healing. It has the ability to heal, to help activate, um, light body, um, Kundalini helped to clear and balance the chakras.
Yes.
To also, it helps us to communicate with plants, animals, um, the elements. And
Yes.
so it's just a form of communication. It's a form of sound, no
Yes.
different than music or any other creative expression that comes from the heart space.
Yes. I feel that was a very, very concise and very eloquent way of expressing something so beyond words, such as light language. Well done. I really appreciate
Yeah.
you sharing that.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. My pleasure. And so I know that we are coming to or nearing, our completion of our time today, and you have agreed to bless us with your language of light, guiding us through, a visual meditation. And
Yes.
so, yeah, what an honor. Thank you so much
You're welcome.
for blessing us with your gift.
Mm. So we've been on a beautiful journey. So I think a great segue into this aircraft would be for you to get into a comfortable seat. It may help to kind of shake up the energy. We kind of been sitting still a little bit, so just kind of like lean with it, rock with it one time, just to get before we get into this flight, right? So I give thanks in advance for the benefit and the medicine that will come through, and I know that it will be whatever it is needed to be for all of us who are present and those who will be joining this broadcast at a later time. And I'm just so grateful for that. And I feel good about that. So if we could just begin with breath, breath is sacred. I'm going to take a bit of water too, pour a little libation inside of myself.
Mhm.
Water is life. We give thanks for water. And let us breathe. So I feel it would be great to just not take, let us create space for a deep breath. We're going to do 3 deep breaths together with the sound of the bowl. And on that third deep breath, deep breath, allow yourself to just close your eyes and relax. And I will serve as a flight attendant. You are the pilot, you are the co pilot, you are the passenger of your own aircraft. And I'm simply serving as a flight attendant to assist with guiding it to somewhere that we can guide it to together. So let us begin with breath. Deeply inhale and hold it
And
for as
hold.
long as you can. And slow as a snail, and only through your nose, release. Deeply inhale again, in through the nose, out through the nose. Inhale. Hold it. Out through the nose, slow as a snail. Let your shoulders relax. Let your tongue relax from the roof of your mouth. Deeply inhale again, all the way into your feet this time. Hold it. Look at those toes. Gently smile, relax your shoulders, relax your spine, and slow as a snail out through the nose. And this time, hold on the release. Hold. Allow yourself to feel complete, even in your release. And you may allow yourself to just continue that deep breathing sequence at your own leisure as we take this journey together. So at this time, with your physical eyes closed, allow yourself to open your inner eye of wisdom and simply take a look at yourself. Allow yourself to see, sense, or feel where your energy, your inner groove is right now. How are you grooving inwardly? How do you feel at your roots and how do you feel in your body? How do you feel in your emotions? How do you feel in your mind? With your inner eye, allow yourself to even take a survey of your aura, the energy vibration around your body. How does it look? How does it feel? Do you have a clear boundary of where your aura begins? Do you have a clear sense of energy inside of your aura that's yours? Is there anything in your aura, in your vibratory space of sovereignty, that no longer needs to be there or does not belong to you? And if you notice anything, just gently give it permission to be dismissed with love as you claim more authenticity in your aura and in your space, in your bubble of light and your bubble of love. And if you will, just continue looking with your inner eye of wisdom. Be invited to take a look at your inner shining sun, usually located just above your navel. See, sense, or feel with your inner eye your inner sun. Just breathe and absorb, and without judgment, just see what's there. How bright is your inner sun shining? Is it spinning? What color is it? Yellow? Is it gold? Is the energy moving? Is the energy moving quickly? Is it moving slowly? Just without judgment, without grading it, just allow yourself with your inner eye of wisdom to observe your inner light. And as you look at that inner light, usually it's associated with the color yellow. Allow yourself to see into the center of your inner shining sun. And inside of this space of power, inside of this space that knows all of your quirky aspects of your personality, that holds all of the sacred geometry of your uniqueness. See into the center and notice that inside of your inner shining sun is a beautiful, big, bright, yellow feather. And I invite you, with your inner eye of wisdom, to just see that feather sweeping away any thoughts, any doubts that you are exactly where you are supposed to be in your journey, that you are a brilliant light, that you have purpose, you have power. Anything that does not resonate with these truths about yourself, gently see yourself sweep it away, dissipate out of your inner shining sun. Any darkness, any debris, anything causing friction to that light, with gratitude, Allow that light to shine brighter and to burn off any connections, any thoughts, any frequencies that are dimming your light. Just allow yourself to sit in that moment, breathing, releasing, and just for a moment, just love on your light. Love on your light. Allow yourself to shine. Allow yourself to be yourself. Allow yourself to enjoy yourself. And as this sun is shining and spinning like an ancient wheel, allow yourself to remember your will and to apply it to actions, to apply it to goals that you will to see in your life. Allow yourself to remember your will. What do you will to see this beautiful gift of life? What do you will to offer? What do you will to receive? Will you shine? Will you allow yourself to shine light and love from your inner light? And as you allow yourself to embrace your inner light, you may feel warmth in your body. Allow that light to shine even brighter than before. Allow that light to shine and fill the room that you're in with your light, with your love of your light. Allow that light that you are to fill the building that you may be in. Let it fill the city that you're in. Just shine your light and your love on the state that you're in. Shine your light and your love. Now this orb is even bigger than the country that you're in. Allow your light, allow your love to shine on the whole entire world. As you give yourself permission to simply be you with your beautiful light. Be you. And as you shine this light, allow yourself to gently smile with gratitude because it feels so good to be yourself, to shine your light and share your love with the world in your unique way. It feels so good to do that. Just smile and enjoy that and nurture that. And know that at any time you can come to this inner space and activate your light. Give yourself some nourishment to charge up and continue being the brightest star in your own film that is your life. And when you've come to a moment of fullness and gratitude, allow yourself to bring all that shiny, brilliant light, all those rays, and bring them back in to your inner shining sun, located just above your navel. Remembering that you have the power
Mhm.
to choose how you will show up in this life. You have the power to choose how you will show up in this life. You have the power to choose how you will shine in this life. Deeply inhale. And just receive any wisdom that your inner light has to share with you. What medicine does your inner light have for you? What messages does your inner light have for you? Gently smile with gratitude for the message. Thank yourself for this opportunity that you've granted yourself to connect with yourself and your inner light. Know that when you do decide to open your eyes, a huge shift has been made. A huge shift and a mighty step in alignment with what nurtures and supports your light. Enjoy that knowing. Deeply inhale, hold it. Slow as a snail, release. Let it all go, let it all go, let it all go, let it all go, let it all flow, let it all be, and hold on the release. And on your next inhale, slowly and with certainty, breathe your eyes open.
Wow. That was amazing. Oh my goodness, so amazing, so powerful.
Yes, you
Mm.
are. Yes, you are.
Thank you so much for that beautiful, beautiful, beautiful journey.
Sure.
So let's take a moment to check in with the viewers to see how they are feeling.
Mm,
So for those of you that were able to experience the meditation, in a few words or less, describe how you're feeling. So let's give it a few moments. Okay. Oh,
Melissa's
Melissa,
magical.
magical, love it.
Give thanks.
Yes, Karen said, I feel like my vibration is higher. It was beautiful.
Ashe. Yes, you are beautiful, Karen. Thank you.
Yes. Well, once again, thank you so much for that. I know I am feeling just on high right now as well.
Hey.
Um, yes. That was so beautiful, so beautiful. And so, Tamaka, what is next for you? What projects are you presently working on?
Presently, I'm working on and enjoying the journey of the manifestation, the wombifestation of my first studio recorded album. It is a new genre. We are calling the working title is spiritual music.
Yes.
so,
Oh, oh my goodness, love it.
so it's a
Yes,
connection
that
of
resonates.
yeah, it's a working title. It's a work in progress. It's something very special. I've been blessed. Nori is a sacred introduction to a full project of soul songs, or as you eloquently expressed, light language in English,
Mhm.
translated into English through songs that are nurturing.
Mhm.
That's it, you know? So that's what's um, on the menu is the completion and the releasing of a project that has already gotten about 3 years underway. So
Mhm.
through this process, I've learned that patience is not only a virtue, but it's the
Mhm.
best position for those of us who desire to be in the frequency of genius, right? You know, people
Yes.
say, "Oh, you're a genius." It's like, nah, I'm just patient. And I know that life's a circle and eventually things will come around. So I'm not really focused on when that project is going to be released. I'm focused on what I'm putting into it. So that has been very powerful spiritual practice to release the idea. We have a lot of social media that puts us in a state or a meditation that feels like we have to share everything and it has to be right now. And
Yes.
in a way, we are sharing right now, but what if you allowed yourself to really sit in and steep in what it is you have to offer for yourself
Yeah.
before being so, quick to
Mhm.
get it out there? So
Yes.
I've gone through a great deal of awakening in the spirit of patience and just being patient with myself through music,
Yes.
allowing music to be a medicine and an instrument for patience. And that's what's next. That's what's on the menu. There's also
How
a great
exciting.
deal of opportunities that I've been attracting to facilitate in the moment music making through the power of drum circles. So I have
Yeah.
a partnership with the Beach Institute, an African American cultural center here in Savannah, which is a historic landmark because it was also the first school for many African American beings who had just come out of
Mhm.
the era of enslavement. So it's a
Mm.
sacred space. It's a museum now. It's a space of art. But I have a partnership with them curating every Friday. Last Friday of the month, we do Friday night at the beach, and we do drum circles. We do spoken word. So
Mhm.
that's I know that is becoming another aspect is offering circles, circle upon
Mhm.
circle, opening other people up to the experience and the magic and the power of music and the awakening of music. And it's so funny every time I start a drum circle with people, and I don't do anything. I facilitate, right? I'm not there to like
Uh-huh.
perform or entertain. I'm there to kind of get us all in one accord, right? And
Yes.
it's so funny because sometimes I'll have circles with mostly young people that are like, I don't know, I don't want to do this, I don't want to look silly. And those same young people at the end of the circle will be like, "Ba, ba, ba, ta, ta, ba, tu, ta," like really in the groove. So I love seeing how music is
Mhm.
universal, how music, like light language, it brings in this sacred geometry of union. It brings us together. So that's another thing that's on the plate for me. And immediately just really continuing to stay in the state of enjoyment and a state of enjoyment that is not contingent upon what's going on outside, but really just keeping it right here when it comes to the joy, keeping the frequency and the dial for that and the switch for that inside. So that's what's next and
Oh
what's
my goodness.
evolving. But yeah, the music. So the album, when it's ready, I'll definitely let you know when it's time for it to drop, as they say. But it's in the process now, and I open this space up now and for anyone who's viewing and anyone who will tune in later to just send your love to it because again, like we're all doing amazing things by simply existing. I
Yes.
find it to be a supreme pleasure to not only exist, but to create things that and add value to existence. So life
Mhm.
is really great. And life is also really great when we get a great song to listen to while we're doing the life thing. So I'm really grateful to be in the position where I am comfortable expressing my love for music in a way that can assist other people. So send your love to the album. And when it's ready, I'll definitely let you know, sis. But that's the biggest thing that's coming up next for
Oh my goodness, that is so, so exciting. And thank you so much for sharing your
me.
gift, your soul's light,
Oh,
and
a
shining your
pleasure.
light. Yeah, shining your light on the world. And I love what you said about patience. The spiritual path of the divine feminine is one of trusting and devotion. So when you are patient, you are you're trusting, you're learning to trust in the inspiration, and wisdom of your heart and allowing your heart to be, be your guide. And so you are truly embodying that, through yeah, embodying that through your work, and it's just so exciting. And I love that you are facilitating circles, the
Yeah.
drum circles, and speaking of sacred geometry, the circle is symbolic, of unity. And
Yes.
so we're seeing, women around the world, actually, facilitating and leading circles, which
Yes.
is um, yeah, just which is just so amazing.
Yes.
So I just want to say that I am humbly grateful for this opportunity once again to share this time and space with you to co-create, this experience. I am so inspired, by your example of sacred feminine leadership
Thank you.
as well as your willingness to share your vulnerability, to share your inspiration, your your gifts and your light, with us. And I wish you just continued peace, and blessings along your journey.
You're
And so
so
once again, my beautiful, beautiful sister, thank you so much
you're
for being
so
here
you're so
and
welcome. It's my
and
pleasure.
blessing us
It's my duty and my
with
pleasure.
And so I just wanted to see if you would like to close, our journey today in prayer.
Yes. I would
Yes.
love the opportunity to do that, to offer sacred words for those viewing and for those who will be joining us. And before the sacred words, I also will to offer, we've been talking about circles, we've been talking about sacred geometry, and I just want to share my soul's interpretation, my visual light language of what I perceive the solar plexus or my solar plexus to appear as. So this is one of the pieces in my collection of chakra work. And this is my interpretation of the solar plexus. And
That's
it's
beautiful.
every time I look at it, I'm seeing something new. And it's kind of funny now. I'm seeing
Mhm.
someone like kind of flying and like that's their head or over here, this is their head. And they're like flying out here like, whoa, I got the light. I am the light. I'm doing my thing. I want to just share that as a visual.
That
I
is
call these
beautiful.
pieces. Thank you, sis. These pieces that I create, I co-create, that I channel, that I bring here, because I consider myself to be a
Mhm.
paintbrush as well. Because sometimes when I'm finished with pieces like this, I'm like, so who did that? And through this journey, I'm like, okay, that's dope, but like, so who did this? Because I'm not really familiar. So, in a way, I am actually familiar. I'm family with the energy of expressing and sharing things through visual meditations.
Mhm.
And spirit um, instructed me and guided me to the notion that I create altar pieces. And it's a play on words because they're pieces that you could
Ooh.
place on your altar.
Mhm.
They're also pieces that can assist you with altering how you feel, altering what you're
Mhm.
focused on. So
I
the
love that.
this is one of the pieces in the collection of chakra works that are available at abundaverse.com. And these were the first pieces that were painted as I was kind of coming. And again, I talk a lot about this in the book. And each one of these is one of those paintings. As you can see, you can recognize this one here. But through even the journey of painting these, there was this resistance of like, I can't do that. Somebody else already did that. How do I know what they look like?
Mhm.
And again, like in this journey of being authentic, dear soul, you will come to your own level of comfortability with being, oh, should I do that? And it's like, yes, like when you were born, there wasn't another you here. And
Mm-mm.
you doing you is something that's never been done before in this way. So that's all the permission you need to do you. Like if you want to paint
So
with
true.
purple paint and do purple elephants, like get to it. Like don't wait on permission. Don't wait on somebody to give you permission. And if you need a reminder, this
Mhm.
is your reminder.
We have our
Whatever
own
the
individual.
idea that you have, get to it, you know? So I just will to share that for those of you who really appreciated the vibrations that we were creating together today. I also host monthly meditations for my community on abundaverse.com. We have a Patreon account, which is an exclusive community or inclusive community of people who are uh, joining in to catch the vibes. I do full moon meditations every month. So that's another aspect. If
Mm.
you'd like to have this communal experience and this from the comfort of your own home experience of really tuning into meditation with a group of other like minded beings who are activating their inner abundance, that is another option that's available. And yeah, all of these things can be tapped into via abundaverse.com. And with all that being said, all this abundance that we have cultivated and curated, let us
Yes.
go ahead and seal the deal with some sacred words and some prayers. So, if you would just get into whatever pose you like to pray in. And prayer is not, something new. This is something that we have been doing for a long time. And
Mm.
prayer is not anything super sophisticated. It's simply offering sacred words and sacred vibrations in the language that we know to
Mhm.
the Almighty, to the source of all things. And I'm pretty sure there's probably some angels or some secretaries of sacredness that can translate these words that I will share into the light language needed to get to source and get to the destinations that are needed for whatever it is that are needed. So let us just close our eyes and gently smile. Ooh, most gracious, most omnipotent, most creative, most medicinal, most amazing, most high. Thank you. Thank you for existence. Thank you for this moment. Thank you for all the moments that led up to this moment. Thank you for breath. Thank you for technology that allows us to convene and connect in this way. Thank you for an opportunity to connect with my sister in soul, Lentice. Thank you for her devotion. Thank you for her obedience to create a sacred space where we can connect in the spirit of sacred feminine leadership. We can honor the divine aspects of ourselves and commune and share ideas and share findings that we've collected along this beautiful gift of life that you have given us, Source. Thank you. Come just giving thanks. That's all I have. That's the highest offering I have is gratitude. And I
Mm.
thanks for all those who have joined us and were present with us on the call. I give thanks for all of those who will tune into the frequency of this at a later time. I give thanks for all of the wonderful shifts that are already taking place in the circles and ciphers and situations and circumstances that we find ourselves moving forward. Thank you for the blessing of choice. Thank you for enlisting me as an engaging encourager that we may choose to be our best, that we may choose to be our brightest, that we may choose to be nurturing and graceful while also being fiercely compassionate with ourselves and with others. Most High, thank you. And I ask, Most High, that you will just remind us of this love bubble that we've created together. When the road gets bumpy, when the hills get high and the lows get lows, Most High, remind us gently, maybe through a gentle breeze, to come back to our power to choose, to come back to this moment of remembrance, that we may continue to form circles and situations that bring joy and that share joy and that shine joy just for simply being, just because we be here, just because you've given us the blessing to exist, Most High, with gratitude, with reverence, with joy. I say Ashe, I say Amen, I say Hetepu.
Mm.
Woo,
Oh,
woo.
it is done. It is done. It is done by the power of three, the perfect Trinity. It is done. Let it be so, and so it is.
And so it is. And so it
Oh,
is.
oh. Well, thank you again for shining your light, sharing your soul's language and wisdom with all of us, and blessing us with your presence today. And we also thank all of you who were able to tune in live or at a later time. We thank you as well. Peace and blessings to all.
Ciao.